Hello.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
Good. I'm okay, thanks. My name is Reza. What's yours?
My name is Shaheen. I'm from
Where
India.
are you from? India.
India.
Good. And what do you do, Shine? Do you work, study?
I work.
You work? What do you do?
I'm running my English medium school in India, in a small town.
An English? What school? English language?
English school. It's not English language school. It's general school.
Okay, good. So, why do you want to improve your English?
Today I have checked your profile. I saw that you have experience of teaching C1 C2. It's a fluency level.
Yes.
So I want to know about it. That what is the difference between student of intermediate level? Intermediate is like B1 or B2. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how to upgrade to C1 or C2 level? Means to and what is the exact difference between C1 and C2? I want to know, and how to improve.
Sure. Okay. Let's go for the first one. So the difference between intermediate and advanced is mainly in their use of grammar. Okay. There are definitions, but with a language, it's a bit difficult to really how good someone is, because some are good at grammar, some are very good at vocab, some are shy, some are extroverted. From teaching, the difference is their use of grammar. So an advanced student would make one grammatical mistake in 20 minutes of talking.
Okay, means advanced students as well make mistakes.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. No, okay.
Okay.
So C1 and C2 are not error-free.
Okay.
Okay. And when I say grammatically correct, this is acceptably correct in English, British English, or American English, or because don't forget, in American also have slight differences between the two.
Yes, yes. I know the differences of pronunciation and sometimes spelling differences.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, in 20 minutes of speaking, an advanced student would make one mistake.
Okay.
Also, the advanced students would have a far better command of vocabulary than an intermediate. So an intermediate B1 would be able to express themselves, but perhaps they wouldn't know the difference between the strength of angry and furious. Example.
Okay.
Okay.
Angry means just angry, and furious means on extreme level.
Yeah.
Okay.
A B2 student would a B1 student perhaps wouldn't even be able to use the word furious. Okay, a B2 student would know what furious means, but they would perhaps like interchangeably with angry.
Okay.
Grammatically, nothing wrong with doing that, but you change the meaning in your sentence. C1 would say no. Furious, it just means very angry.
Okay.
Okay. So that's in terms of vocab. And then fluency, yeah. They are progressively more fluent as you go up. And progressively, not just fluent, but also confident. Fluency and confidence kind of go hand in hand.
What is the exact difference between C1 and C2?
Now C1 and C2. So C1 and C2, if you were to put it in terms of Ielts scores, you'd say a C2 is between 8 and 8.5, and a C1 is 7.5 to 8. Maybe a 7. Some 7s are also C1s as well. It's quite
Okay. C1, 7.5.
7 to 7.5.
Okay. And C2, 8 or 8.5.
8 to 8.5.
Okay.
With a little bit of grey area in between.
And then 9-band score.
Well, you'd like to think a 9-band score is like, you know, native. Okay, that's
okay.
But again, if you get a 9, it doesn't mean you're you're very good at English. You're just very good at the Ielts exam, and
okay.
vice versa. If you're a native, in fact, I think if you went on the street and took an Ielts test from anyone in the street in England, you'd probably get average 6.5. Because
why?
Because they're not training they haven't trained for the Ielts exam. They don't know what the examiner is listening to. They don't know that in 15 minutes the examiner wants to hear how good your grammar is. They want to hear third conditional, mixed conditional.
Maybe native speakers' grammar is not that good, I think.
No, that's right. And no, some of their grammar might be off because it's colloquial. People speak differently. They speak colloquially. And I know that the Ielts test, they say, oh, well, no, you know, we encourage.
And I think in daily use, people may use more and more slang.
Definitely.
You are talking about that when go to street and take a test, and people will get 6.5 because they may use slang, not standard language.
Not just that. If I have a student on Cambly who says I want to take an exam, then I will train them.
Okay.
We will do practice exams every single session, so they get better and better and better and better. If you go to the street now, the goal of that person is to have near native, or to have a native mastery of language. Well, they don't, because to them they're a native. They can say whatever. But two things: one, they've not prepared for the Ielts exam, so they don't know. But secondly, the level of education in England is not great. You know, some words that perhaps an Ielts student would know because they've read it, they perhaps wouldn't.
Yes.
You know, the words that, because as I said, because the student studied synonyms, they've studied complex words.
They consciously studied and they put into the practice.
But that's the main difference. That's the main reason why.
Yes.
So
vocab, as well as I think grammar is also, advanced grammar structures are necessary for C1, C2 level.
100%, yes. So
which grammar structures or which particular topics are necessary for C1 level?
For somebody to say that they are a C2 level student, I would expect them to be able to switch between the active voice and passive voice quite quickly and easily, without any issues.
Okay.
They would be able to switch between different levels of formality. They would be able to grade their language up or down according to, to express the difference between angry, furious, and incandescent. That they need to be able to know that. I say a native language. Yes, I'd say a native who has studied for the exam, a command of the language, that's somebody worthy of a 9. And also worthy of somebody calling themselves a C2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apart from passive voice, which advanced grammar structure are needed for advanced fluency?
Apart from the passive voice, I'd say if I heard them use the mixed conditional, that would be, I'd say, definitely. Trying to think what else. if they're able to talk, or if they're able to place themselves within a certain tense and talk about something that happened in that time, again, that's very advanced. You're no longer talking about past, present, future and everything simple. You are describing a story from within a tense. For example, describing a memory, that kind of thing.
Okay. Actually, I had booked lesson for business English, but later on I just scroll your profile. Just means you sent message that you are running a bit late. So I just thought that I'll check what's new to learn. And I have noticed that you have experience of teaching C1 and C2. So out of curiosity, I thought that I should ask.
Yeah. Don't forget, as with a language, it's quite difficult to 100% put a border between B2 and C1. That's why I tend to describe students as B1, B2, C1, or C1, C2. And
are there any experiences that non-native speakers got 9-band?
Oh, definitely. C2 proficiency level is, don't forget, there is no one single authority to say you are a C2 level. So what you'll find is English institutes, they will say, we teach from A1 to C2 because they want to make money. And of course, the students towards the end of the course, once they've finished, they can say, yes, we've got to a C2 level. Well, no, you've paid to pass an exam.
But actually they don't.
But what I'm saying is the level of C2 differs around the world hugely.
Okay. Why so?
Sorry?
Why so means why it differs in
countries? I said, because there's no single sort of level. There's no single authority. Firstly, there are different books. There's Interchange, there's Top Notch, there's all these who will claim to teach like their last level is C2. But of course, the quality is different. The only real sort of way we can say yes, this is the measure, is the Ielts sort of measuring system. But even then, don't forget, Ielts is done by it's examined by thousands of examiners all around the world. Those examiners are all trained through one system, yes, but naturally there's going to be some fluctuation between how strict they are, how lax they are, and could be some people are strict one day and less strict the next day. So it's quite.
Why so?
Lose. If I'm an examiner and my family has upset me, well, I'm going to give everybody a 5 and a 6, and nobody's going anymore.
Oh, means
can happen.
Means your mood will affect the score of that student.
That's extreme. But what I'm saying is that it's not a computer for it to have no emotion and everything, to no fatigue. An examiner at the end of
what about that poor student who is going to give an exam?
What about the poor student in my country, Iran, your country, India, who's very, very, very clever, but in his own language? And now there is this authority called Ielts, and they say you can only go to an American university if you pass this exam. And he's no good at languages.
Yeah.
Right. So what happens? Right. It is a fake system. It's a system because it means that English teachers are like these guards to like, advanced education. And there's no other way
to have it. IELTS exam is not, the IELTS certificate is not a surety that the person is really that perfect.
Absolutely not.
If the student achieve 7 or 8 or 9. It's just depend on particular that timing, how that student perform.
I had a student, a Turkish student, about 6 months ago, who I was training for the Ielts exam. He wanted to get a 6.5 to enter a university in Canada, and he's very good.
Okay.
And he got better and better. And when I train students, I always train them. If they want a 6.5, I train them for a 7. I'm stricter and stricter. I get more and more strict. He took the exam, and first time he got a 5. I couldn't believe a 5. How? So Farid, what?
That examiner must have had a fight with his wife, and he cut down his marks.
I didn't know he was married. And why didn't? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the point is that the following month, wasn't even a month. I think it was 3 weeks later. He took the exam again, and he got a 7, which was more level. Okay. He was a 7, because when you hear a few students, you say if he took an exam now, he'd probably get a 6. He'd probably get a 6. He got a 7.
Okay. And one more question. What is the importance of pronunciation in IELTS exam or proficiency level, the C1, C2? Because grammar is okay. Everybody is saying that you should learn that advanced grammar structures, vocab, and all that. What about pronunciation?
Pronunciation for the speaking exam is one of the things that you're marked against. You're marked on 4 things in the IELTS speaking exam. It's grammar, vocab, what's called coherence. So that's fluency as well as sentence structure, and pronunciation. Now, you have to beware, pronunciation is not the same as accent. You can have any accent in the world, but if the listener fully understands what you're saying, then that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Means if examiners can understand clearly what students are saying, then it's okay. They will not cut mark because of pronunciation.
The examiner has to understand everything the student says.
Yes.
But this doesn't mean that I, with a Southern English accent, you with an Indian accent, that doesn't mean that we can't understand each other. It's just the way we say things is slightly different. But I can understand 100% of what you're saying now, and you can understand, hopefully, 100% of what I'm saying as well. Okay.
Yes.
So people often, and a lot of students do as well. A lot of students, they work way too much on their accent. On Cambly as well, I've heard. I have a Russian student. He speaks like I do, but his grammar and vocab are terrible.
Oh, really?
Because he has focus.
How he achieved that accent?
Firstly, some people are better at accents than other people. Naturally, this is like a natural thing. Naturally, some people are good at mimicking other people, better at mimicking other people than others. I think probably singers, people who are good at singing, because they have a slightly bigger range, they can mimic it.
Okay.
The other thing is, of course, as with anything, practice.
I had joined Cambly for IELTS, but later on I realized that my pronunciations are not good. Then I start working on my pronunciations. Not any accent, but neutral accent. I'm struggling with some sounds, and it's go on.
Okay.
So really, it's quite difficult to
learn
any accent.
Why do you think your pronunciation? Now, this is what I was talking about. Nothing wrong with your pronunciation.
Now I'm improving day by day little bit. Before, I had recorded few videos of mine for my YouTube
Good.
channel, and I realized that, and then I checked my own videos, and I noticed that my pronunciations were not good. Then I started working. Since last 2 months, I'm working on it. I have my
By
regular
yourself?
two tutors.
Oh, by
Sorry?
yourself? What did you say, with tutors? So tutors are helping you with your accent reduction?
Yeah, cambly
Good.
tutors. For both are phonetics
Very good. Yeah.
teachers. So I'm working with them, and they're helping me, and really it helped me
Good.
a lot, because learning with Indian teachers or learning by mimicking others, I thought that it's not a good idea when a native speaker when a native speaker is in front of me, and that person particularly pointing out my mistake with a certain pronunciation, and I repeat that particular word. Definitely, it helps me a lot. So I'm practicing
What
this
would
way.
help you as well along the way? I'll just point you in the right direction. You're intelligent enough to take the rest of the way. Is to research common common errors that Indian speakers of English have. Of course, the English language is within the Indian education system from a very young age. So in terms of proficiency, and in fact, some of the English language, I believe, is inside some of the languages within India.
Okay, what do you feel that Indian people struggle with pronunciation? Which particular
So, okay, are we
pronunciation,
talking
according
about
to you?
accent, or are we talking about grammar here? So
Pronunciation.
pronunciation. Okay, so I mean, I'm sure your phonetics teachers have taught you about accent reduction.
I didn't study with them accent
Okay,
reduction,
so
but
what accent?
uh, they found that particular pronunciation. Like, I'll give you an example: w and v sound. I was pronouncing like where, while,
Yeah.
when, but it should be where, while, when. I was pronouncing like when. It should be when was. It should be when was. They taught me it. Then
You've been doing accent reduction
yesterday my
without them
teacher.
telling you. That's what accent reduction is. Their mind. So what we say, where are you from? You say, okay, I'm from India. Okay, so the most common ones are yes, w and v, and then did they make you do what we call minimal pairs, like what's it?
Yeah, minimal pairs. I didn't study. Yesterday my teacher taught me. Z, then j, and j sound.
Okay, so
J,
yeah,
z, and j sound. Means a slight difference is
that's right.
there,
So the
but
je as in
she
pleasure.
made me, yeah, pleasure, vision, zoo,
Yeah.
then judge.
So again, they've done those things without, without actually calling them, which is great, which is good. So yeah, quite right. So something like the difference between west and vest. So you've got the difference now,
Yes,
but
yes.
maybe before, and this has happened so many times with students from all over the world. Turkish students have the same issue, just is common. So, and I type the two words on there, and I say these two, and they say vest, vest, and they go, oh, and they realize all of a sudden there's that surprise that, oh, I just said the same thing twice, but these are not the same words. So making them realize, and this has happened to me tens of times. I don't specify in phonics, but I can certainly do accent reduction. T and D is another one. That's probably the T. Yeah,
And
the pronunciation of T and D.
and d.
Again, you worked on it, obviously. It's not. So it's water and for example, that kind of thing. The, also T, but the T at the end of words. Hot. Out.
Hot.
Yeah. So this is,
Out.
And you've obviously got it because, we're talking about phonics. The next step, which you've taken quite well, is to put.
Are you familiar with the phonics? Because I'm practicing with my tutors sometimes. Their time is available, not available, that kind of things happens.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do that,
teachers, I have learned with them assimilation, intrusion, catenation.
Okay, those are specific for phonics features. Those are not ones I haven't, as I said, I haven't specified in phonics, in phonetics or anything like that. But assimilation. Wow, I have to go back. I have to go back to my. I have to go back to.
One of my tutors specially studied it for me.
Okay. When you said studied it,
she told me that she had studied in her master's, but she practiced, and I had uploaded her videos on my YouTube channel, and many people notice it, and they book lesson with her. And they ask her that that lady is learning from you, and we want to learn same.
Yeah, so phonetics and phonology is quite a popular branch of the English language. It's not something I specified in ever. Generally, normal English teachers don't, but obviously they've taken it to sort of university level and master's level. So.
Yeah, actually, I'm doing it consciously because I've noticed my pronunciations are not good. And one more thing, I thought that if I'm gonna give Ielts exams, then definitely examiners will check my pronunciations as well. So, with my grammar.
As I said, I'll point you in the direction of the next thing you need to look at. So, I mean, aside from common pronunciation errors for Indian speakers, something that's very common is that they don't differentiate, again, speakers of the Indian languages, don't differentiate between simple present and present continuous. I talk on cambly, I am talking on cambly. And actually during this, I haven't pointed it out, but you've actually made that same error.
Yes. It had happened with me. Because always I used to use present continuous tense, and then I realized that I have to use simple present.
It's not just you; it's your other 1.5 billion fellow countrymen as well, and other countries as well. Yes, it's not. It's, as I said, this is a common thing. The other common thing is the use of adverbs at the beginning of sentences.
Adverb. Okay.
Always, I try to improve my accent. Adverb comes after.
I try to always. We should. It should be used in between the sentences.
After the subject, I always try to. I definitely want to. I surely have to. That kind of thing. Okay, but as I said, that's just one. There's a couple of points. You take it from there. I'm sure you can find. If you want to practice them, I'm happy to.
Okay. What about my pronunciations? Is it okay?
Yes.
Or what particular things you notice that I'll have?
You have a light Indian accent now, lighter, I'd say. So there are no common things with your pronunciation that would stop you from getting a 9 in an Ielts. So the next step for you is to say, well, okay, I want an American accent. I want a British accent. Well, no, I just keep this Indian accent. It's fine.
Can I get 9 if I study?
Most 9s come from Indian students because they study very, very hard.
Oh.
It's true.
Okay. I'm looking for 9.
Good stuff. We have 3 seconds left. It was nice to meet you, Shaheen.
Okay, bye.